Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Well, today is World Diabetes Day, which highlights the illness of diabetes around the world. Now, there are two types of diabetes, as you know, type 1 and type 2. And on the BBC website today, there's a news story which says that the government of Wales, that's the little part of the UK that no one ever mentions, it's saying that if things don't change, 1 in 11 adults in Wales will be living with diabetes by 2035. And they're saying this because it's gone up in Wales by 40% in the last 10 years, particularly in those who are very young, because type 2 diabetes used to be a disease of older people, because older people don't really get so much exercise. But now it's striking younger people, and it's creating some kind of sense of panic. I'm not surprised. I mean, to be honest with you, the moment you step outside London, the further north you go, you have older people who were doing industrial jobs up until the 1980s. Then industry vanished from the UK, and some communities here just never evolved past that. There was no work for them. They weren't retrained, and then their children grew up in this kind of atmosphere of deprivation, and they themselves ended up disabled or not working, not taking any exercise, grossly overweight. And then you have the government giving out disability benefits to everyone who needs them. So there's a lot of communities which are just overrun by drug abuse, alcohol problems, unhealthy eating. It's almost like a fashion now to be grossly overweight. So I'm not surprised diabetes has really been rising. And so today brings about an awareness of diabetes. I'm a little bit uncomfortable with diabetes. I mean, as you all know, I'm diabetic, but the solution here that the doctors offer is just to give you pills. Oh, here's some pills, go away. Take the pills and come back, and then we'll give you more, and then we'll give you insulin, and then we'll give you more insulin. But I think from what I know of diabetes, at least, what they've told me is that it's not really about sugar, it's about exercise, it's about lifestyle, it's about how you live your life. It's very funny because whenever I tell anyone I'm diabetic, they always immediately think of sugar, like ice cream or artificial sugar we put in coffee. And then they tell me that, oh, you've eaten too much sugar, you've ended up diabetic. Eating sugar doesn't actually cause diabetes. Diabetes, especially type 2 diabetes, is about lifestyle, it's about how you live. And most of us are in front of computers, and to reverse it, it takes a lot of work. It involves fasting, it involves exercise, it involves being careful what you eat, not only with sugar, but with everything. And I mean, I'm not a healthcare professional. If you are having problems with diabetes, or if you feel that you have diabetes, or you're pre-diabetic, or you've been diagnosed, you should follow your healthcare provider's advice. That's for sure. But like everything, I just don't think handing someone a bottle of pills is the answer. You need to retrain them. You need to retrain them on how to live a better life. Anyway, that's the headlines today from Wales. So we're going to go through a couple of adjectives, more than a couple actually. I've got quite a few written down here, but I wanted to talk about illness as a positive thing because all we ever hear is negativity, especially about diabetes. I mean, if you believe everything you read, you would be thoroughly depressed. So I'm hoping that these adjectives will be a little bit more positive. So I would say diabetes and illness in general can be very motivating because it forces us to look for change. It forces us to look for other ways to live, and it forces us to look for solutions. So motivating is a good way to describe diabetes, especially if it forces us to look for ways of doing things differently. Life affirming, it brings about a renewed appreciation for the value and preciousness of life. Um, I'm, Again, maybe I'm just being hard-hearted here, but I have to say, when they told me I was diabetic, they kind of like said to me, "So, how do you feel knowing that you'll have this diabetes for life?" It was kind of given to me as a prison sentence, and I was told, "Oh, you should be suffering." But my response was very simple. I was I was not panicked by that. I simply said, "Well, it is what it is, you know." But serving it to me on a plate as a prison sentence isn't going to help. It's about taking positive action. Who knows? Maybe it can be reversed. And they told me, "Oh, you shouldn't think like that." And I said, "But you do understand it can be reversed, yes?" And they reluctantly said, "Yes, in some people we get reversed." And of course, what they were trying to say there is, "But not you." So it was like I should be suffering, you know? But it's all about your response and the way you see illness. You can choose to be happy and accept it and work for change, or you can accept it and be very depressed. So, life affirming, everything is life affirming, not only diabetes. That's what we do. We have joy in our lives. It says here, uh, perspective giving, offering a new outlook or appreciation for life. That sounds very American, doesn't it? And it makes you more resilient, that you can deal with it. I suppose it depends what the illness is. Character building, emphasizing the development of resilience, strength, or patience. Well, here's a nice one, yeah. Transformative, when the experience of an illness results in significant personal changes. Well, that's for sure. It can be transformative, but not only because disease changes us, but keeping a sense of joy, I think, means that you don't have to be gloomy about it all the time. Enlightening, if the illness leads to a greater understanding of oneself or of life. Yeah, I think that's probably a nice one as well. So I would say enlightening, transformative, character building, life affirming. Those are all very positive ones. It says here, humility inducing, encouraging a sense of modesty or understanding of one's limitations. I'm not sure I agree with that because I think we always can do a little bit more if we push ourselves outside of our comfort zones. So it's all about attitude, all about staying positive and looking for new ways. I always find that if I sit around thinking about diabetes, of course I'd be depressed, but I live in an environment where I'm helping other people with their English. with their lives in some cases, and it's very rewarding. That it kind of changes the balance of power, because I'm no longer thinking of myself when other people are depending on me. So giving is a great way of dealing with that sense of self-pity when you know other people are depending on you. So there we are. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. So enlightening, transformative, instructive, character building, motivating, empathizing, leading to a deeper understanding and compassion for others' suffering, resilience, perspective giving, humility inducing, and life affirming. Oh, well, I can live with those, I suppose. Harmless, aren't they? Christmas is coming up as well. That's another great time to be joyful, and another time when you can give gifts to people. Although I have to say, in recent years, I've started to put up my Christmas tree and then put little labels on it of names of people that I'm grateful for. It's a nice idea, isn't it? So I write a name on a label and then hang it on the tree. But yeah, I've been trying that in recent years, but it doesn't always work because you write out the label with the name and then you think, well, I'm not really grateful for this person. I just kind of tolerate them. And then I have a discussion with myself about whether the person should get a label. Because if I'm not grateful for them, if I just tolerate them, they shouldn't be on the tree. So I think over the last few years, I've started writing these labels and then thinking, yeah, I'll put this person on this label and hang it on the tree. But then the next person, I'm thinking, well, no, they don't deserve a label. So my tree quickly changes from being a gratitude tree into some kind of toleration tree of people that I tolerate. That's not really the right spirit, is it? So this year I'll try harder. Maybe I'll, you know, add the names of people that I kind of like. Yeah, well, last year I did really well. I mean, I bought boxes of chocolates and gave them to my optician, the pharmaceutical staff, and just shops that I regularly go to. So I think, yeah, that's a good way to do it, isn't it? I don't think they would get a label on my tree, but I'll give them chocolates because, at Christmas time there's always loads of sweets which I won't be eating anyway. So, and there's plenty to pass on to other people. So very interesting, yeah. Anyway, that's it from me. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and let's talk again soon. See you. Bye.